So everything's been going phenomenal, Bianca. Like, I mean, the women I've been talking to are so inspiring. They're so encouraging. They are doing some dope shit. So it's like so exciting to see so many amazing women.
Okay, cool. What kind of stuff are they doing?
So I've talked to so many different people, but just a few of my favorites right now, not based on their business, but their personality, has been one, an amazing food prep service. So cute girl doing food prep here in Charlotte, keto, vegetarian, vegan. She can customize based on your needs and all of those good things. So she's phenomenal. Another one is a girl starting out, and I love startup companies, and she's so passionate about house cleaning and just helping her shift because she was getting started right before COVID hit. And so she's very discouraged and things like that. So I'm excited to be working with her for the next couple of weeks. She's doing some immersion training. That's going to be really exciting. So I'm so excited to help her get that motivation back. And then just a handful of other businesses. I had the honor of helping my big cousin who's launching a candle company. And just some things that I realized from her that a lot of women in minorities don't think about is something like trademarking and how to protect just the brand. And you and I, we're trademarking something and I'm so thankful that you took over on that and you can maybe share with others a little bit more about the process and what we've been doing. But I think that was something that neither of us knew much about. And it's it's something that we need to know and it's a way that we need to protect our business. So, that's an area that I refer out to, and I'm excited that I have resources, but that's not something I'm not a lawyer. So,
Yeah.
but talking with my cousin, explaining to her, you can do all that great shit and all that awesome marketing, but if you don't have a trademark, somebody can snatch up your product and start selling what you're selling with the same name or similar logo. And there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, and again, like you mentioned, I'm not a lawyer either, so I'm not a professional in this arena. However, just doing a little bit of research, so Dominique and I are going to have kind of like a lifestyle brand as well, but we want to make sure that we trademark the tagline that we want to use. And so I was doing research. I'm always doing research, and so there's a difference between copywriting and trademarking.
Mm.
So from my understanding, copywriting is like if you have like a design of some sort on a t-shirt, then you would need the actual design copyrighted versus trademarked as far as like any type of words or descriptions or taglines. And so it's an intricate process. We actually just used a familiar system that we use for other legal services. And what I found out so far is just it's a long process. So
Mhm.
first and foremost, the service that we use kind of does all the research as far as to see if the tagline is being used by any other company. And then after that, they pretty much submit it to whoever solidifies the trademarks. And then they get assigned to someone that's supposed to review it, and then they're supposed to get back to it. So it actually takes months and months and months to finish. But before we produce this lifestyle brand, we want to make sure that it's protected, so that we can carry on with our wishes. So I know that you did mention that you had someone that worked in trademarking, so perhaps we would have to talk to her to learn a little bit more about it, to help some of our clients as well.
Yes. So, and then one of my good friends. So, one thing about me is I network anywhere I go. If I'm at the club in the ladies' room, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love your shoes. And then I hit it off with people. So, I'm always, so one of my good party friends, he shared an amazing lawyer, African American woman that specializes in trademarking, in addition to the young lady who I told you about before. So, what I'm looking to do is I'm actually working with them, and I think we're going to not think we're going to create some kind of webinar series that is all about trademarking, and we'll be able to share it with women entrepreneurs in order to help them really learn about trademarking, the steps they can do, and then in return, answer those questions. So if you're listening and tuning in tonight and you have trademark questions, send them in to us. This is something that our show, and myself and Bianca, we're very passionate about making sure that business is done the right way. So if you have specific questions about trademarking, we cannot answer them. We are not lawyers. We're here for other things, but we can put that in the pool. And when we create this webinar, we'll be able to share with you and direct you there and give you that information. So we're taking our time to put that together. But these are other African American lawyers who are willing to donate their time to help us. And so, we really are thankful for that opportunity. So I'm excited to put some stuff together so that way people like us, because again, we didn't know what we were doing with trademarking, and Bianca is very resourceful and she's amazing at things like this. So she was able to figure it out, but it's also not cheap. It costs a lot of money, and you want to make sure it's done the right way. You want to make sure you're trademarking the right stuff and you're doing it the right way. And so that way you're protected. So stay tuned, keep tuning in. We'll share more about
go to email us at weregladyouasked@gmail.com, and I'll make sure that I include it below. And then, yeah, I'm excited to kind of formulate that webinar, and we'll even learn a lot through that as well. So for me, a common trend, I would say, for this week, especially with working with one of my clients, is resistance. So because I worked and specialized in transition, a lot of the conversations I have is around overcoming resistance, not necessarily fear, because you can be afraid and continue to pursue something, but you can never pursue something if you're going to continue to resist it. And
Okay.
so I've been able to kind of identify some elements that I've been resisting even moving into my entrepreneurship journey. And I think it's just very, very important to touch on and discover. So today, for example, I'm actually working on a corporate project, and one of the ways that you can leverage opportunity is by connecting with people that you already know, or networking with people that you've already worked with in the past. So for me, I've worked in the healthcare industry, and I have quite a few contacts that could be beneficial to me. But for some reason, I was kind of overstepping them or bypassing them to try to connect with new accounts instead of going back to leverage people that I already know. And that's a form of resistance. And so what I discovered and what I talked about with my client, because I use a lot of life experience in my coaching sessions, is that you have to become very skillful in identifying what you're actually doing. And so for me, I had to admit that me approaching these same clients, even though I already know them, I'm approaching them as me now, as me, as a single woman. This is my business, this is my name, this is something that I'm doing, not me as a representative and a business card that says a whole other company on it. So any type of rejection that I was going to face was going to be applied to me, not a company that I wasn't afraid, of getting rejected from. So I had to take that into consideration and understand that, okay, I'm going to put myself out there and I'm going to reintroduce myself. I'm no longer holding on to who I was before, and I have to reintroduce myself, even if it's the same clients, as me, and this is my journey, and this is the story that I'm telling, and this is how I can help you now. So that's something I had to get past. But what I also realized is that the beautiful thing is, when I was compartmentalizing myself into this role that I had, hiding behind a company, not hiding, but that was my job, right? So instead of kind of formulating and operating within these guidelines that you're given when working for a company, I was able to bypass the particular targets that I would have had. So instead of going to specific, administrators or what have you, I was able to bypass that because there's no longer any chain of command. I'm the boss. So I'm going to go talk to the boss. So instead of reaching out to who I usually would reach out to, I reached out to the chief medical officer and the chief marketing officer, the ones that can make those key decisions to really help and influence a variety of all their different facilities and accounts. And in doing so, I just kind of reintroduced myself. They actually didn't know me because I was working on another level. And now I'm presenting myself as, this is my company and this is what I have to offer. And they responded back to me in 10 minutes. In fact, I leveraged the fact that I leveraged the fact that I used to work with, some of their accounts, but this is what I'm doing now. And they were like, oh, interesting. Who did you used to work with? So I was able to, kind of interject who I used to have a partnership with, but now I'm connecting on a whole different level. And so we have to take ourselves accountable, and we have to realize, like, okay, anytime we're feeling something inside of us that's making us feel resistant to a direction that we need to go in, we have to pursue that. So it doesn't have to be necessarily any lifelong change or or any major decisions, but even the smallest things that you do in your business, you're going to face resistance every day. And I'm sure you're more familiar with this than me, because this is something that I'm just now starting to encounter on behalf of myself. So that was kind of the lessons I've been implementing into my sessions as well. And that's one of the concepts that I formulate in my course as well.
Well, I really like that, and I like how you took it to the next level. So like you know you can do it. You know you can deliver the service. You have knowledge of their company because you already know their infrastructure, and then now you're taking that to focus on selling yourself, not anybody else, and that's phenomenal. And I think part of that, not just resistance, but it's also part of fear, and a conversation that you and I had about maybe a week and a half ago or so, where we talked a little bit about imposter syndrome, which was actually a new term for me that Bianca shared. But it's like, we're always looking for something to qualify us. We're always looking for why we're good enough or why we're this and we're that. And last week, I basically had someone question, why am I doing consulting? And it was someone who I actually look up to and I think is phenomenal, and she's an amazing person in the community. And I was very surprised because, their response was like, well, why, more so like, why are you not just focusing on nanny agencies, which is awesome. I've done that for 3 years. It's awesome. I can teach you how to run a nanny agency with my eyes closed. I can teach you how to sell, corporate backup contracts with my eyes closed. I can teach you how to scale a nanny agency literally in my sleep. But what I've learned is, first of all, I've owned a Jana King franchise. I own other things that I don't even discuss because I have never been passionate about them. They have just been ways to make money. So I know how to grow and sell many different things, not just the things that I publicly share. But what actually surprised me was like, I don't have to qualify anything. My clients qualify me on themselves. My clients that are like, I had a client today that I talked to who's met me somewhere. When she heard my voice, she was like, "Oh my God, I feel like a kid at Christmas just talking to you." That qualifies me. Someone who's like, I've always looked up for. Honestly, I really don't know who she was. I met her at a couple of events, and I should know her, but I see so many people all the time. But she knew exactly, she was so excited to talk with me, and she was so excited to sign up immediately. And that's just what I'm excited for, so I think we really, as women too, like we are qualified. And if you feel confident and if you know what you're doing, and the thing about Bianca and myself is if we don't feel confident, then I won't accept you as a client. If I don't feel like I can grow and help you grow and scale quickly and efficiently, I will refer you elsewhere. I'm the first person to say I'm not a lawyer. I'm the first person to say, hey, one of my clients who is one of my paying clients, and she wasn't going to apply for anything. I was like, get your butt over here, even during COVID, and let's apply for at least, just apply. You don't have to accept anything. But she applied for the PPP plan, and she applied for the EIDL loan. And today she got a $10,000 EIDL loan in her account, and she was like, "Oh my God, like I wasn't gonna do this. What's for you?" What'd you say?
What is the EIDL loan?
It's actually forgivable. So it's the EIDL grant through the SBA, which is one of the it's fully they've exhausted all their resources and they're not accepting applicants. They're getting to the applicants that they have now. But I was really adamant to my clients to just apply because you never know, and you can always reject it. You can always give it back. There's options. So let's just see, because now people are trying to apply and it's closed. So, right. My client got this $10,000 in her account today and was so excited. And this portion is forgivable, if it's used the right way. So, to see that she's going to be able to continue to grow and scale her company, so those are the little things that qualify us, is having my clients like, what, I would never have done this if you didn't advise me to help me, but I'm also not telling you what to do or how to spend it. That's when you go to your accountant. And your accountant tells you, okay, this is how we track, this is how we spend, this is how we do those things. I'm not an accountant, nor am I a lawyer. I'm qualified to help you, to guide you, to coach you, to consult with you. I'm not your lawyer. I'm not your accountant. I'm not here to fill in your trademark. That's not me. And so I think that what we have to realize is that you're qualified because you're qualified, but also just because you're qualified doesn't mean you can do everything. And you have to be honest with yourself and to your clients to say what you can and you cannot do, and people will respect you for it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why it's so important for us to build a team of things that of people that can leverage different skill sets so that we can help our clients in areas that we don't are not familiar with, right? And so that's funny that you say that because I just recorded an episode for my podcast that is basically talking about the difference between business consulting and business coaching. Because
Mm.
I got a request the other day to, well, I've gotten two requests. One I'm accepting because I qualify for, and the other one no because I'm not a therapist. So I got a proposal for, I got a proposal for to be on a panel as a therapist, and I'm like, I'm not a therapist, you know. And then I got a proposal to be on a panel as a business coach that specializes in transition, and they wanted to kind of talk about what people can do during this time that are being kind of laid off and how could they plan for their next steps. So I would love to do that. I'm actually doing that on May 12th, so I'll put some information out there later. But it was interesting, like, because I was asked to do something on a therapy side, and even though I give advice, I'm not a therapist. So
Exactly.
the difference between business consulting and business coaching, and I also say this because I just enrolled in a certified professional coaching program so that I can develop some of the coaching tools that I want to implement in transition. So business consulting is based on experience that a professional, an entrepreneur, or a business owner already has. So this could be years and years of experience. So I have years and years of experience in sales and marketing, and Dominique has years and years of experience in entrepreneurship, marketing, sales, operations, things like that. Okay. So I actually coach women, professional women, on how to transition out of their current situations. And then I integrate marketing concepts into their businesses to help them scale. So we both have the qualifications for consulting per se, and we both have qualifications for coaching as well, but those are two different facets.
Exactly.
Usually consulting is just implementing a specific concept, and coaching is integrating personal development techniques. So when we talk about things like imposter syndrome, and that's what makes us unique as well, is because we have the application and experience, but we also can have we also can integrate the personal development concepts as well. So when we were talking about imposter syndrome, so that's type of coaching. We're talking to you about some of the types of feelings that you're facing in this process. And these are things that we've had to experience as well to help you move forward. But we also have the application experience to help you with practical things like marketing or sales, copywriting, putting together your content, your business strategy, your business planning, whatever our specialties may lie in, right? So I kind of filmed a whole episode around that so people could have a better idea to figure out which one is right for them, because there's specific people that focus just on consulting, and then there's specific people that integrate consulting and coaching concepts to help you with a well-rounded package. Am I explaining that correctly?
I love it. I love it. And that's why my focus with myself is Dominique Rice Consulting. I focus on consulting. I focus on you figuring out what your goals are and getting your business to the next level. I am not as fluffy. I'm not as nice as coaching. I feel like I implement some coaching because I have to meet people where they are, but my focus is consulting. Like that's what I do is I consult you how to grow your business, not your friend, which I love all my clients. And when I'm consulting you, I'm not your friend when I'm consulting. Once your consulting phone hangs up, now I'm your friend again. Um, so
Yeah.
consulting to me is a little bit different. It's my style is a little more aggressive than most people because I want to see my clients win. I want you. This is what you're trying to do. Well, then let's do it. And I don't want to hear any excuses because you can. And every single person I take, I believe in their business. Like I genuinely believe that they can do it. Or I want to. I'm like, that's kind of whack. Like, nah. Like I'm not gonna. You're not gonna get there. Like oh, you want to make $100,000 in 6 months selling XYZ. I don't believe that you can do that. Therefore, I'm not going to consult you because I don't think that's something that's going to happen, or I don't see your that business model even working. So I won't consult people who I feel like can't take it there. So I believe in every one of my clients, and I know they can do it with the tools and steps that I give them to do. So
Mhm.
that's the difference between me and why I really focus on consulting. And as I grow, I will definitely do some more coaching, training, and things of that nature, because for women, it also is a mindset. So one thing that I've been explaining to my clients, and is there's I thought there's three, in my opinion, I asked my clients during my first call, I box entrepreneurs into three categories. One, someone who's doing this as a hobby. They want to make some extra cash. You love your full-time job, but you like making sweaters on the weekends and selling them at the market. Number two is that person who loves their business, they work in their business, they're totally self-employed, but if they're not working, they will not get a paycheck.
Mm.
So, for instance, an example is like a house cleaner. Like you're a house cleaner, you make great, you make six figures, you're the best house cleaner in town. But if you're not there to clean that house, you don't get a paycheck.
Mhm.
So you're self-employed. My third, which I call a full-blown entrepreneur, is someone who literally they can be in South Africa, they can be in Morocco, they can be anywhere in the world, and their business is going to run sufficiently without them. Now, there's a caveat to that where obviously you don't want to run willy-nilly and not check in on your baby because your business is your baby. So, but also they don't need to see you every day. You can go away for 2 weeks. You can be gone for a month and do a 1 hour a week call, and your business is normal, business as usual. So those are the kind of categories. And I ask women that I work with, which one do you want to be in and why? And then I ask my clients to describe their ideal lifestyle. How often do you want to see your kids? How many hours a week do you want to work? Do you want to be in a relationship? As a single woman, as a single woman who's dating, I want my clients to, I create their ideal life. So then that way, whatever business plan we come with comes aligns with that. And so it's a full blown alignment. But outside of that, I don't do a lot of coaching. I really focus on consulting, but I want them to get it like, yeah, you want to work at either 100 hours a week, but you want to be home every night for dinner. Like that may not work right now. So pick and choose what's important to you so we can move on and set these real goals and get this money.
Got it. Yeah, and I didn't want to kind of put that on you, but I would say you're more of a consultant, and I'm gearing more into like
Exactly.
coaching.
For
Um,
sure.
so, I mean, we have the qualifications and the skill set to do both, but I think as far as passion and connection, Dominique is more of a consultant and I'm more of a coach. So I'm
Exactly.
meeting you where you're at and I'm validating and kind of bringing you along based on your ideas, not necessarily just giving you advice. And then when it comes to sales and marketing concepts, that's things that are going to be actionable, and those are things that I can consult on. But the majority of it is more geared towards coaching in general. Um, and I always say the best thing is to, if you find someone that you're attracted to or that you're interested in, do your due diligence, do your own research. I recommend scheduling a call. So whether it's a free consultation, it's a free discovery session, it's learn more, sign up, whatever. It's all the same thing. It's going to be an opportunity for you to schedule a call and talk to someone and learn what they have to offer and then make sure they're right for you. And when you schedule the call, I just ask you to be respectful and mindful of their time. So do your own research. If you have your own questions prepared, it'll help you make sure that you're making an informed consent decision. So I always think, asking questions is best. It's a saturated market. There's so many people that you could connect with. So I would just, do your due diligence, schedule a time to talk with them. And again, like we mentioned before, most of the time people are not going to take you. You're not going to be a ideal client for us if we don't feel like we can help you. And so what we're doing over here is we're trying to build a team to where we can kind of direct you in the right direction, or, take you on if we really, really feel like we can make you successful.
Exactly. Exactly. So
So
Bianca, tell me about your goals from last week.
my goal from last week. So if I remember them correctly, we were talking about waking up, kind of working out before I get started with my day, right?
Mhm.
So I worked out all 5 days.
Can
Wake
I
up
get
and
a woo woo?
talk about not necessarily imposter syndrome, but talk about how I had a whole breakdown trying to film my podcast episode. Like I just felt like, ugh, like I just didn't recognize myself. For me, I was so caught up in like, trying to transition, into entrepreneurship and, creating my and building my business and things like that, that I really just felt like I've been putting my own wellness to the side. And
Okay.
so when you're shooting on a 4K camera and you're like seeing yourself like on TV in 4K, I don't recognize this person anymore. Like going through a dark period, I really was neglecting my own health and wellness. And even it doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, like how you're eating or you're working out. It's a balance of everything. It's mental, it's physical, like you're getting older. So I had a whole breakdown. But anyways, I worked out every single morning. Made sure I didn't do any consults or check any emails. I actually only check my emails twice a day now. It's really
Good.
hard, but it's so distracting because you get so much junk mail. And if anybody's familiar with the 4-hour work week, you're not supposed to check you're supposed to set 2 times during the day anyways to check your email. So I've been trying to like put away any idle time that I have and really getting structured and focused. But my wellness and my health are number one priority right now. That's like number one. So I've been successful. I'm actually working with a wellness coach as well. And so we're working on I'm working on some of the psychological habits as well when it comes to my wellness. And and also because I help wellness entrepreneurs grow their business, I want to know what it feels like to be a customer so I can help them with their marketing. But what I realized, what we're working on is being present when I'm eating. So because we're like always on the go, or like I'm always eating while I'm doing something else, we're either overeating and we're not being present. So she's really having me take my time and just sit down, enjoy my meal so that I'm focused. And then I'm also doing a lot of research on like my body type, like endomorph and the ketosis diet, because I've always viewed keto as very unhealthy, and like a heart attack on a plate. But the way that we've been programmed in society, we have to understand that we're all different in our makeup and our DNA, and our body types are all different. So there's specific ways and the science and the buildup on how we can make sure that we reach our ultimate health. So my goal is just to be the best that I can be at my own pace.
Okay. Can I ask you a question about your wellness coach?
Yes.
So when you're eating, and not about her, but about eating, when you're eating and you're supposed, like, what the hell are you supposed to do when you eat? Because like I'm single, I live by myself. Like, I'm like, who the hell am I talk to myself? Like, hey, bitch, what is your food good? Yeah, girl, it's good. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Well, so her advisement, instead of eating while we're like doing stuff on the phone or like instead of mindless eating, in order to be present, in order to really enjoy our meal and to avoid overeating, is just to stop everything, sit there. Because even though I live with someone, it's not like I talk to her while I'm eating. We eat at different times. We have a completely different body type. We eat at different. She does intermittent fast. Like it's so different. I sit at my desk and I just eat like slowly. And she told me to just count, like time it and see how long it takes me to eat. It should take you between 15 to 20 minutes. You're not supposed to gulp down your
Okay.
meal,
Okay.
because there's a certain time frame after you're done eating before your brain registers that.
Yes.
And so we're just like consuming, especially because I'm lowering my carbohydrate intake. I'm always going to be hungry now, so I'm like eating, but you have to give your mind and your body a chance to understand that it's full.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So growing up, especially living with my aunt and my uncle a lot of years, like we had a lot of family dinner, and I love family dinner. Like I was the star of family dinner, girl. Like family dinner, like they probably wanted to cancel family dinner because I was so aggravating. Like I love to talk about my day. I love to set the table. I love family dinner ambiance. Like I love family dinner. Like
Yeah.
I love it. And so not having a family or not having anybody with me, like eating by myself, one thing I have done recently is I'm not on my computer when I eat. I'm not doing what you're doing, but I try to turn on a show that I'm enjoying and taking that time to at least like a show with no commercials, because they say commercials make you more hungry. So I turn on like a Netflix show because they're showing you different stuff that you might want to eat and
Yeah, like all of a sudden you're like, you know what? That looks good. Let me order
like,
pizza.
I do want a little dessert. Wasn't even
Yeah.
thinking about dessert. So I've been watching like shows. I'm like not on my computer because I used to eat on my computer and just like put up something on my phone and just sit down and eat. But definitely like, taking my time and things like that. But that's good to know because I literally thrive on community dinners and meal, like dinner, like even out to eat. Like I love to go out with friends and like have tapas. I don't even like entrees. Like I'm more of an appetizer girl, like in wine and talking and conversing. Like I live for that. So, COVID's got your girl here. This is dinner. This is lunch. This is breakfast. This is workspace all in one. So yeah. But that's good to know. And I thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of what last week, I accomplished a couple of things. The first thing I accomplished was I completed the certification from Florida Atlantic University, FAU. It was a hospitality and tourism certification. Phenomenal program. Like I don't really want to shout out people because I don't get paid for that. But I do want to shout them out because they did this for free for people and they are giving people the opportunity to experience this. And the Dr. Rucci is how you pronounce his name. He's the head of the program and he whipped this together in about 2 weeks to help people stay positive during this time in the hospitality industry. And I'm so proud of them for like really giving to the community. So that means a lot. And I learned so much from it that I'm like, shout out to them. I made a small donation and I hope to make more in the future, but I'm excited for them and what they've done to help the community. And hopefully they get enough donations to do another set if COVID continues on because it was a great experience. So
was it live or was it like pre-recorded?
It was pre-recorded, but they just made it up like during COVID. So they just whipped it together to help people during this time because the workforce is changing, things are changing, and I learned a lot for our business, for Influence. I've learned a lot to share with my clients. I've learned about parts and contracts that we need to tweak. I've had to schedule calls with my lawyers. So I learned a lot from that free course, and I'm thankful for that. And I'm glad that I took the time to do it. I'm not proud of myself for procrastinating and having to do it all in 1 week. I wish I could have taken my time and I started on a little sooner, but I got it done and that's what matters. The second thing that I worked on last week is personal, and it was just kind of thinking about what I want my ideal relationship to look like and what I expect from someone I'm in a relationship with. And I've journaled about it. I thought about it. I wrote a few things down, but ultimately, from a man that is dating me, well, first of all, let me tell y'all something. I don't know if it's because I'm doing this show or if it's because I've been on some podcasts but people are finding me on social media and my DMs have been going crazy. And I don't know what about me makes them think that I'm the one or the two because I'm not. So instead of explaining I'm not the one or two because my energy just isn't for that,
What is number one or two?
I'm not the one. Like don't send me sexual messages. Don't send me any of that. Like that doesn't impress me.
Not the one or the two.
I'm not the one for sure.
Okay. So what's the number? What's two?
Just in case you thought I wasn't number one, I'm definitely not number two.
Got it. Okay, go ahead.
Like, so don't even try it. Like, what possesses men to send you these messages like, oh, I think you're my future wife? You don't even know me. First of all, I'm crazy. Second of all, you can't even pay any of these bills over here. So why do you think I'm your soulmate? Scammer? I'm trying to get some money. I'm trying to help women entrepreneurs. I'm trying to get some money, build generational wealth, and you're in my DMs harassing me. What possesses them to do this? But my future husband definitely ain't doing nothing like that. He's a cool, calm, collective kind of guy. So he's definitely not dropping DMs. So
how is he supposed to find you?
Well, he's not going to drop DMs like that. If he does DM me, he's going to study my profile. He's going to be like, man, I really liked when you made that one video. Keep up the great work.
really the trick. I know she's talking about dating, and let me just refer to marketing for a second. Instead of sending cold random messages, like look at their profile, look at their website, like connect on something. Send them. I connected with someone, and I was actually looking at their web design, and instead of sending them information on, oh, I can help you with your website, their website was actually dope. It looked really good. It was already clean. So I actually sent them a message like, hey, before I try to even schedule a call with you, I just want to let you know that your website is magnificent. Like, what can I help you with? There's nothing really to do to it. It's really clean. You have great video. So in reference to her, like dating, like check some things out, like see what you have in common, like come more correct than that. Like, hey, you
Exactly.
know, wife, like that's right.
And here's the thing, and a lot of guys probably aren't listening to this, so my ladies understand. But like, tell your brothers and your cousins and stuff, like, listen, we get 100 messages. Hey, sexy. Oh my God, you're so gorgeous. I know. I'm a savage. Like, I get it. Like, all that. Like, but like, I don't need you to validate me, so that doesn't impress me. Like, maybe if I had low self-esteem, like, I don't know. Like, it's not going to work over here. But in terms of my future husband, so in terms of dating, what I'm looking for in a relationship is consistency. So the first thing, and I feel like it's the same thing. Like, I feel like a relationship is basically like a business partnership with like fun trips and a lot of sex.
Hmm.
So firstly, consistency. So I'm looking for someone who's consistent, whose words align with their actions. Because anybody can talk that shit, but can you really deliver what you're saying you're going to do? Like, okay, so you said we're going to do X, Y, Z. You say you're going to do this, but did you do it? Did you deliver on that? Are you consistently, are your actions consistently lining up with your words? So consistency. Number two, communication. Number three, someone who's a provider, someone who understands what it means to be a provider and has a desire to provide. Because, it's not about, it's about if a man cares about you, a man wants to make sure your household is straight. It's not about being play, it's not about being that, because quite frankly, I'm doing it without you now. So what are you bringing to this table? What value are you bringing into my life? And then in terms of dating, like I take the non-traditional route, and I believe you should be closer with your spouse than with your kids,
Okay.
because you're raising your kids to be individual people. You're raising your kids to grow up and to leave your home, and your spouse and you are forever. So when you and honestly, when you have that relationship with your spouse and you are modeling that for your children, that's the love that they need to see. They don't need you coddling over them, cutting their food up. I mean, yes, at a certain age you need to do that, but they need to see the love between their parents. And if their parents have that love, they'll learn that love. And obviously, you're not going to just throw your kid in the corner, but you should be catering to your spouse and someone who understands that. So when you're single and you're entering into something, consistently dating each other and having the motivation to date at every stage of life. I was a nanny for a family who went on a date every single week. So if I ain't got no kids and you ain't got no kids, or even if you do have kids, this family had 3 kids. Dad traveled for work, and they made us consistently had a date night once a week. So if we can't do that as two single people, then what are we gonna do? So
And
I was
how are you implementing it or setting these expectations up front?
so that's the challenge I have. So I'm glad you asked, because I either don't set the expectation or I'm too gangster with it.
Okay.
So for example, I'm gonna read you guys a text thread. I don't really care.
Okay, let's do it.
You know, this is a good one. So there is a guy who went, um, I met him and we talked for a little bit. And then I was talking about, I homeschool my little brother a couple of days a week to help my mother. I have an 8-year-old little brother.
Hmm.
He's crazy. So we talked about homeschooling, and he said, I'm sure teacher Sissy had a long day with her pupil. I'm like, exactly, exhausted. He's like, take your nap.
Wait,
Maybe
is this the
my
guy? This is the guy? You're reading a text from a guy?
from a guy.
Okay, I need the whole story. Like, where did you meet him? Like, who is this person? Like, you can't just go right into a text.
Sorry, y'all. how did I meet him? Online dating. I used to online date a lot. I recently have deactivated my profile. So I met him online dating. We met each other a couple of times. We just kind of text talk. And,
Okay.
he knew I was homeschooling my brother. We talked about that. And then he says, I'm sure teacher Sissy had a long day with her pupil. I said, exactly, exhausted. He said, take your nap and maybe you can be my naughty teacher later.
Oh, okay.
LOL. We've never talked like that. What makes him think he can shoot his shot? What about, he's a new
Okay, let's dissect this. Hold on.
I don't like it.
How long have you known him?
A couple of weeks.
Okay, you've never had this type of exchange before.
Never.
Okay, so what if he is at the point where he would like to initiate this type of exchange? I thought that was kind of clever.
First of all, you didn't even take me on a date. You don't even know me.
Oh.
You don't even know my last name.
I have to know details. So you never, okay, so he's never taking you on a date. So that's part of setting the expectations. So what was your response?
Well, y'all know, for those of you who know me, know I know how to go in. If I can't do anything, I can go in.
Okay, we're waiting.
I was like, that won't be happening. Laughing but serious. He's like, I know, I couldn't resist. I was like, you know what excites me? Here goes one of these. And he's like, ambition and adventure. I was like, so unless we're going on trips, having amazing dinners, and you're willing to invest time, energy, and resources in me, I don't really want to hear any sexual references.
Ooh, what he say?
It was that hard, y'all. But it was just like, damn, like you don't even. He probably doesn't.
No, it was. I feel like it was a joke. I feel like what he said was kind of witty and clever. And then I think that I'm not mad at your response, but I also feel like you should have set the expectations up front. So therefore, he would already know that taking you on trips or investing time and energy into you was part of your expectations. But for you to rebuttal with that type of information is like, it almost comes off like more defensive than educational.
It was definitely defensive. I 100% agree with that. But the thing is we just met during COVID. So
Okay.
It wasn't like we had the opportunity to do the things that I'm accustomed to someone doing. So it's kind of like how do you date during COVID? You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, this would definitely not fly. And he's probably gonna watch the show because I think he watched the last one. So I'm not saying your name, but thanks for tuning in. I didn't like that shit. If you want to try again, let's just go ahead to the islands when
Wait
it
a
opens
minute.
up.
So after you said that, what did he say?
Well, let's see. He said, that's the plan, but okay. And I was like, I just want to be I said, I just want to be transparent. I get so many messages about sex from guys, it's just annoying, so I want to be clear.
Okay, let's stop there. Woo, woo. I get so many messages about sex from guys. That means how many guys are you talking to? That's what I would be thinking. Like,
but even guys who I don't talk to send me sexual messages. That's why I got so frustrated last week. I mean, like people who don't even know me on Facebook will be like, I just want to do things that I'm not going to say on our show.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you gotta. Those have to be blessed and blocked.
My block list has grown so much over the last 2 weeks. I don't even address it. I said, and I could just he's basically been texting me and messaging me from time to time, but the dialogue has completely changed, which is fine. But the thing is, it's like I think he just liked me as a sexy person. He had no desire to get to know me.
Got it. Okay. So this list that you've created, now that you have all the expectations that you are interested in a partner, what are we doing with this list?
We're giving it to God.
All right, cool. We had a good. So next week we're going to talk about 10X and what we learned from 10X, which is a really good book by Grant Cardone. And basically the whole consensus is that whenever you're implementing your goals, you want to times them by 10. So if your goal is to make $1 million, it takes just as much effort to make $1 million than it does $10 million. So that's why you want to times 10 versus all your other objectives to help you set yourself apart from competitors. So we're going to finish the book, and then we're going to talk about some of the things that we're going to take and implement into our own businesses on our next episode.
Yes.
And Dominic is gonna have a ring light.
And I'm gonna have my ring light, so I ain't gonna be so dark over here. And I'm probably gonna have something else next week too. But I don't want to say I'm gonna have
it. No, one thing at a time. Yeah.
I got something else for you guys.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, if you have questions, you can email it to us. It will be displayed. So feel free to send us any questions you may have, and we look forward to connecting with you next week.
All right. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.